Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do some rusting with this product here from oh gosh, what does it say? Cosmic Shimmer. Cosmic Shimmer, and these are their rust pigments. Now this was recommended to me by the lovely Debbie. So Debbie, if you catch my video, I just want to say thank you so much, because previously for the rust technique I had used the, oh, let me see if I can see it anywhere. No, I don't appear to have it on my shelf. Oh yep, I do. I had used the patinas, and these come, or they used to come, in the copper and the bronze, and this was what I used to do rusting, and they were fantastic. Absolutely loved these. Now I don't seem to be able to get these anymore here in the UK. I don't know whether it's just a shortage, or whether they've stopped doing them, or whether they've just stopped doing them in the UK. Maybe they do them elsewhere, I don't know, but I can't get them anymore. So I'd kind of hit a bit of a brick wall really of how to do rusting that was really good, because when I've done rusting before using the Sagita's coffee stains technique, which, oh, it's so long ago I can't actually even remember what I did, I noticed that what happened was when you started using your pieces that you'd rusted, was all the rust kind of like would flake off and come off. So I was really looking to find something, you know, something else to use. And so the lovely Debbie happened to mention one day that she had been doing some rusting with these Cosmic Shimmer Rust Effect paints. Now, these are fantastic because they also have in them some little gritty kinds of pieces, which of course the patinas don't have. So these have obviously the paint, and they're able to go onto metal and, you know, what have you. But they also have little kind of gritty textures that make your pieces actually genuinely feel rusty. Whereas like the patinas, although they looked rusty, they didn't necessarily feel it. So these are absolutely fantastic. Now I'm just going to show you. So I've done my paper clips here, and I used the plastic bag technique. So by that, if we get time, we'll do a couple of paper clips just at the end to kind of show you. But basically chuck your paper clips into the bag with some of the paints and just smoosh them around, and that's kind of how they came out. Now I probably could have done with doing these maybe a second time, because I don't know if you can see, they're still a little bit shiny. That being said, when things rust naturally, you know, they're not necessarily smothered in rust. You might still have bits of the, you know, original metal showing. So, you know, I'm not kind of too worried. They're definitely still more rusty than they were. And also these also were not silver paper clips. These were kind of goldy ones. So that may have had, you know, a bit of an impact on how well they took. But what I thought we could do here is I've got lots of gems that I like to use for things like my decorative edge strips and what have you. I've got some cameos and things like that as well. And I love using all of these for, you know, clusters and decorative edge strips and things like that. But they're quite, well, these ones in particular, these are quite gaudy looking, aren't they? You know, they're very yellow, which I don't really like that at all. And then I've got other ones, which it's, well, a kind of bit of a rose gold. I don't know if the camera's really picking that up. This also, again, a bit of a rose gold. Maybe it will pick it up slightly better from the back. So I've got those, you know, different ones really. But obviously I need to be a little bit careful, because my cameos, I suspect I'm going to struggle slightly to actually kind of paint over these without going over the cameo. So we're going to kind of, you know, just experiment around and see what's going on. But some of these, so I've got these ones, like this one with the duck egg blue, which I love. This one, obviously, you know, I'm not saying I don't love it, but it doesn't look very vintage, being obviously bright pink. I've got some black ones, which, yeah, I don't mind the black. I've got a darker blue. You know, I've got a few different kind of colour cameo ones. I can't actually find many more cameo ones, but yeah, a few different coloured ones. Some of which are more vintage than others, but all of which I suspect that I will struggle to just paint around the actual head of the cameo itself. So we're going to kind of just play around with those and see what we can do. So what I've got here, I am armed Armed and Dangerous, armed with a dried wipe, because I suspect I'm going to need that. And then I've got some paint brushes here. I've got different sizes. So I've got this one that's a kind of like, yeah, diagonal, that's the word, diagonal bristle. This one that's just a sort of round edge. And then this one, which is quite, you know, quite small, just in case I want to get into like little crevicey bits. Because obviously these, I'm going to try not to obviously paint over the gem. Who knows whether I will manage that. So what we're going to do, we're going to just pour some of the paint out. So what I'm thinking is pour out. Now I have used these obviously when I did the paper clips, for example, and I did just experiment with one or two, you know, other pieces just to check that I'm going to be able to get on all right with these. So this one, I suspect, is one with the little bits in, perhaps, because it didn't seem to want to come out that brilliantly, or it could have just been where I hadn't shaken the bottle. So just pour out sort of, I'm saying equal parts. I mean, who knows whether they're very equal, but just pour out quite a bit of the paint. And that's the other thing. I don't know how much these are going to actually do. Oh. That one's not wanting to come out for some reason. I wonder whether maybe I didn't use that one. That's a bit weird. I don't know how long these are going to last, if you see what I mean. Whether they're going to not go very far or whether they will, who knows. I got them from Amazon. So they're, you know, they're readily accessible, or readily available, perhaps I should say. You get one which is a metallic colour. So this is your, you know, metallic-y one, obviously, that you want to kind of like finish off your rust colour with. So I think the best way to use them is mix all of the colours in. So I'm just going to take this brush first. Oh, excuse me. And go in and then go over my piece here like this. Probably should have put gloves on, but never mind. So just going over the entire cameo piece like that. Okay. And obviously, you know, you can then darken it or not, as, you know, as the mood takes you. And then obviously you can finish it off with a bit of metallic on there as well. Now, as you can see, I've gone right over the cameo face. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over with my dried wet wipe, and I'm just going to wipe off the paint from the face itself. Now my hope is that not only is this, you know, going to look very rusticy and vintage, but also that colour, I mean, this obviously had an orange, which I didn't feel was very vintage, is now sort of covered up. Oops. Not making a very good job of this. I'm so sorry if you can hear a lot of giggling. So my daughter's got my sister's son, he's here for a sleepover. So the pair of them are just giggling away. They're obviously having a lot of fun, but yeah, they're being a bit noisy at times. So I do apologise for that. There we go. I mean, it looks quite rusticy and quite rusty, doesn't it? Rusty and rusticy. So I'll just put that one down. And it's covered up that orange, which, you know, just for me was not really looking very, very vintage. So let's try this one and see what this blue comes out like. So again, I'm going right over the whole cameo. And then I'll go over a bit with this. I mean, quite honestly, when you do this, it becomes quite funny because you start thinking, oh, what colour is rust really? I mean, yeah, I guess it's probably more this sort of colour. But yeah, it's, I guess, you know, any of these will do, won't they? So I think probably the best thing is get a mix of the paints on there. So like that. Now I have to say, the lovely Debbie, she has got a video doing faux rusting on her channel. So I will try and remember to link her channel below. So, and she's so lovely. You know, she always comments on videos and she's so funny. She's just, yeah, super chatty, and yeah, love hearing from her. So do go over and check out her channel, because she's very, very creative. She's emailed me sometimes, you know, different projects that she's done, and she does the most incredible work, I have to say. So yeah, she's definitely a sort of, you know, brilliant talent and one to definitely watch. So yeah, do head over there, because I'm sure that you would all love her. She's quite new to YouTube, so she's, you know, she's just kind of newish with her channel, but you know, yeah, she's already put sort of some interesting and really good videos up, so do have a look. Right, so this one I've obviously gone a little bit too dark, probably. Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy with this. Okay. So this one, I've kind of like smooshed the, you know, the paint off a little bit more, if you see what I mean, with my wipe. Oops. So you can see a bit more of the underneath colour, and this one was a red one. So I'll just bring that up to the camera so that you can see it. It looks quite cool, doesn't it? Because it's toned the red right down, so it does look more vintagey. But you can definitely see the colour, or a colour there, as opposed to like this one, which was the orange, which we've effectively covered up most of the orange. And then this one, which was the sort of duck egg blue colour. Now, I can't remember whether it was this dark turquoise or whether it was this pale duck egg. Ooh, I wish I'd paid more attention. But this one definitely is different to this one. Hopefully you can see that. So, you know, those underneath colours, even though they've been covered up, they're still kind of doing something to these. They're still, you know, visible in some sort of way. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving how they look. They look so authentic and so, yeah, so vintage. So I'm going to do a couple of different ones now, because obviously it's probably not very interesting just watching me do cameo ones. Let's do one of these pearly ones, the ones that I said were quite gaudy, because I am not loving these. Ooh, not loving these at all. So yeah, let's get covering some of this up. So right, plenty of paint onto here, and then I'm just going round. Now I'm going to try my best to avoid the big pearly center, but bearing in mind I will probably have to go in and wipe around it with the wipe, because yeah, I can see that I've, you know, I have dabbed on it, obviously. I mean, to be honest, I wonder what this would be like if I went right over the pearl. You know, whether I would be able to wipe it off, I'm not sure. So again, go around with the wipe. I mean, it's no drama, to be honest. It's not really a big deal going over with the wipe. It's quite easily wipe offable. Okay, so now this one also, this did have little kind of diamondy bits, which of course I've covered up, you know, by painting, but I don't mind that. So I'm just taking my thin brush, oops, just taking my thin brush and going round. I'm using this dry just to sort of spread that paint out a little bit more. I wonder whether I could get the gems showing through a bit more. Well, it's probably not brilliant, but it's okay. I definitely think that looks better still than this. Ooh. gosh, I'm just dropping everything everywhere. Yeah, I mean, this looks very yucky and yellowy, doesn't it? And yeah, so from that perspective, oh gosh, I'm just dabbing the paint all over this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, I do prefer the rusty one. Yeah, I think it does look better, to be honest, because the rusty one for me is not really looking very nice at all. So I'm just dabbing a little bit more paint up there. So for this one, let's have a go at painting right over the pearl and see, you know, see whether that's easier. Honestly, these paints are so brilliant. They're kind of like geniusy. Yeah, they're really, really cool. So I've not made a brilliant job of going over the pearl, if I'm truthful. You know, I've got a lot of brush strokes in there, but I'm wondering whether we could just, you know, wipe it off. I was going to say with our finger, but actually I think probably we need the wet wipe. It's not wet, it's a dried wet wipe. I mean, maybe, who knows, maybe a wet wipe would be better. I don't actually have any in here, would you believe? I've left them all out drying, and so now I've got no wet ones left. So we're just going to have to, you know, persevere with the dried out ones, but there we go. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, they probably look much the same. You know, so from that perspective, I probably found it easier to go right over the pearl and then clean the pearl off rather than try and paint around it. But, you know, that might just be me. So let's try another one of those. Oh, let's try the red one. Okay. So this one I seem to have gone a lot more ready with. Okay, like that. And just get the wipe. Oh dear. Okay. Now the good thing about going right over the gem, obviously, is that you can get sort of right into the, like down into the space between the gem and the frame, whereas otherwise you know you have a bit of a space there. So, and then you can always touch it in like that. Okay. Like that. That's that one. So, I mean, definitely, yeah, for me, I'm definitely loving them much better than that really awful bright yellow, which I wasn't really loving that colour at all. You know, so yeah, definitely for me, they're much better for having that yellow covered up. You know, that yellow gold, because, yeah, it wasn't a good look, was it? It was very, very gaudy. Not nice. Not a nice colour at all. Right, there we go. Again, just go in the little sort of crevices there. Like that. And then just wipe this off. Oops. I mean, it seems like it's quite fast drying, you know, which is great. Obviously, it's not great if you're going over your gem and needing to clean it off. You know, you couldn't like leave them for a while. You need to get in reasonably quickly to clean it. But yeah, once you do, they're pretty good. So yeah, love those. Right, let's have a go at some of the, you know, the gemmy type ones. So let's do a different colour, because I just feel like I don't want to be doing the same old, you know, the same old stuff. So I've not even put in any more paint on here. I'm just kind of going straight round In fact, I'm going to do the same thing, going straight over that gem, and then we're going to wipe it off of the gem. So I hope I haven't made a mistake doing this. I think I do need a little dab more paint, so okay. And again, just take my smaller paintbrush, get into those spaces there. Okay, and then again, take my wipe and just clean that gem right off. Oops. There we go. Oh my goodness, that looks really, really lovely, doesn't it? Quite gothic looking. So this one I probably could have done with a wet wipe, if I'm truthful, because this little crystal, it's kind of like, yeah, got a bit of the paint, you know, a little bit resistant, but okay. I think this is a water-based paint, so I mean I could possibly even go after that or go over that afterwards with a wipe, but yeah, looks pretty, doesn't it? So let's do another one of those in a different colour. Just deciding which colour to go for. Oh, it's tricky. Maybe, oh, let's do this one. Look at this gorgeous colour. Love it. Okay, right. So this one I might try not to go all over the gem, because like I said, I probably could do with a wet wipe. There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that one look? Oh, I love how that one looks. That is so pretty. So pretty. Yeah, really, really love that. Oh, let's do another one of those, shall we? I'm so sorry if this is just a really boring video, but I'm finding it quite exciting, you know, like doing each of the different colours, because you know, they're actually looking quite different, aren't they? So yeah, I hope that you guys are finding it as exciting as I am, so I do apologise. But yeah, I'm loving seeing, you know, the different sort of effects. And actually what I should probably do is try and put a couple together. So like, you know, a rusted one with an original, so that you can just see the difference, and then, you know, you can decide which one you prefer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like them, you know, generally anyway. That being said, I don't like those yellow ones, those gaudy ones that we just did. I don't actually like those. They look way too gaudy, don't they? But all the other ones I do actually really quite like. Okay, this one looks quite nice, doesn't it? Again, can just go in with smaller brush, you know, for any bits that you've kind of missed. Oh my goodness, I love that. I wonder if I've got any others the same colour to be able to show you a sort of before and after. And of course I haven't, because that would be far too simple, wouldn't it? But I do have one of these. So to show you a before and after of this, I mean, that's the difference. So let me know below, which one do you like best? Do you like the original or do you like the rusted one? I think I prefer the rusted one, if I'm truthful. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, it looks like an antique, doesn't it? And again, let's show you a cameo. So this was the red cameo. And this is, you know, a red unrusted cameo. So again, let me know below, which one do you like best? I mean, I'm thinking again, I much prefer this rusted one. It looks very, very vintage and, you know, authentic, doesn't it? So sorry, that's my son. He's just got in from work. So yeah, Bo's obviously rushing down. So yeah, let me know below, which ones do you like the best? I think definitely for me it's those. So then the other ones that I've got are these pearly type ones. So if I just sort out a few of those. So these kind of little pearly kind of effect ones. So, what ones have I got? Oh look, I did have a blue one, so let's just quickly do the before and after. Oh my goodness, isn't that such a gorgeous colour? Which one do you prefer? Again, share below which one's your favourite. I'm loving this one. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Right, so let's do one or two of these little pearly ones. Let's do this green one, shall we? Okay. So again, just dip it into the, you know, a sort of mix of the few colours is best. So like that. Okay. Like that. And then round here. Hello, gorgeous. Hey, gorgeous.
Hello.
You're right then. Did you have a nice day at work?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Sorry, just wanted to quickly say hello to my son. So yeah, just see if he had a nice day at work. Right, so we're just going to kind of do a couple of these and then finish up. So that one. I mean, they do look quite different, don't they? And, you know, when you're painting them, it's easy to think they don't look that different. But look at the difference there. They're massively different, aren't they? Yeah, really, really different, I think. So, yeah, let's do another one of the pearly ones. Should we do this one? Yeah, let's do this pearly one. So, okay. Like that. Okay. I'll just take a little bit, oops, a little bit of that red colour, I think. So just go over with the thin paintbrush. Again, getting into some of those little gaps. Okay, and then just around here. Now, obviously, you know, as I said, with, say, like the paper clips, you can just chuck them into a bag and, you know, smoosh them around. The reason why this is seeming so painstaking is because, of course, we're having to avoid the centre, you know, focal point. So if it didn't have a, you know, a gem in the centre or a, you know, cameo or, you know, a pearly bit, then of course you could just chuck them into a bag and just smoosh them about and, you know, they'd turn out absolutely gorgeous then. But because we're obviously having to watch out for the centres, it's just making it a little bit more sort of time consuming. But please don't be put off and think, oh, you know, this is a sort of process and a half. Because, I mean, actually, it's quite a nice process. In fact, we painted over that, didn't we? It's quite a nice process. It's quite therapeutic and quite relaxing. So, yeah, you could definitely you know, sit and do a bunch of these, like even, you know, pop them on a tray, do them whilst watching TV, you know, because effectively you don't really need much space. I mean, these would all fit like on a sort of lap tray, and then, you know, put your lamp on and you could just sit and do this whilst watching TV. It would be quite a nice little project to do in the evening. So love that one. That looks very, very, very vintage, doesn't it? So yeah, let's do one or two more quickly. So let's quickly do this. I'm just kind of now conscious of using up the paint, really. You know, I hate wasting things. So I just want to make sure that we've used up all of the paint that's here. So yeah, let's kind of just go over that. Like that. Okay, and then like that. Like I say, I mean, in hindsight, I probably would have used a wet wipe. That being said, I haven't obviously tried a wet wipe. So, you know, try it and see what you think. I just feel like, you know, I'd not have to kind of like rush quite so much with a wet one. So, yeah. Just go around the edge here. Again, just filling in a bit. Okay, and obviously if you get it, you know, onto the actual gem, you can just go back around and just wipe it off. It wipes off pretty, you know, pretty easily, to be honest. There we go. Oh, I'm loving these. Yeah, I think we could probably do like perhaps two more before calling it quits and doing quickly a couple of paper clips. So yeah, let's just quickly do this one. Again, going all the way over this cameo. And, you know, you might want to go down the edges a bit as well, just so that you've covered up everything that there possibly is to cover. Okay, like that. Okay, get your wipe. And just, you know, I'm just wiping off the face like that. Personally, I quite like that because I was finding that the blue was pretty bright, you know, not looking very vintage at all. So for me, you know, I'm enjoying wiping off completely, or, you know, when I say completely, I mean, obviously it's still got a bit of a dirty-ish type look to the cameo, but then I'm just dabbing over where it was blue. Haven't got another one of it, but just to show you, it was like this but darker blue. So darker blue but similar. Definitely, I mean, that just looks like it could be in a Victorian cellar, doesn't it? That just looks like it could be in Poundland, really. You know, not that I dislike that, you know, I do actually really like it, but yeah, it's just got a, you know, a different look to it, hasn't it? So let's just take a couple more of the last bits of paint just to use it up. But yeah, like I say, I mean, it's actually quite fun. So, you know, if you're being put off thinking, oh gosh, that's taking forever, it's quite therapeutic. So yeah, it's not horrible. It's pretty fun. I mean, there's some jobs that I think, you know, they're quite tedious to do, aren't they? And you think, oh gosh, you know, I can be bothered to be sat doing that. But actually, this is quite fun. Love how that one's turned out. So just to show you. They're very slightly different colour blue. I don't know whether it's really kind of visible on camera, but yeah, in the flesh, they're quite, you know, they're just very slightly different colour blues. So that one on that one. Right, okay. Got one more cameo that I think we'll get out of this paint that we've got here. So just do this one again. This is the red one. So we had already done a red one. Can you see on that little bit of greaseproof paper, the paint's quite gritty? Because I did say, didn't I, that it was a textured paint. So obviously what I've got left now is all quite gritty. So again, just wipe the, you know, the cameo part like that. And just dab at the colour like that. Oops. Okay. Just dab it slightly more. Like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely love it. Right, okay, let me grab some paper clips and we'll just do a little bunch of paper clips in the bag. So hold on a minute. Okay, so I've got just a little plastic bag here, and then I've got the paper clips. Oops, not that one, because that's got one of those plastic coverings. So I've got a variety of these giant silver ones. I've got some small silver ones, and then I've got these sort of copper coloured ones, which, I mean, I think these are quite pretty. I've bought them from Amazon, and generally, I mean, I'm quite happy to use these, you know, in their natural colour, because I think they're actually quite pretty. But, you know, let's kind of play around and experiment with rusting up some of these. So I'm just going to chuck them into the bag. Oops. Like that. Like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour in a little bit of all of the different paints. So a little bit of this, a little bit of the dark brown, a little bit of this kind of ready colour, a little bit of this one. Be interesting to see whether I end up running out of one of these colours sooner than another, but anyway. I mean, to be honest, I think probably you're going to get a lot of items done with these, so I don't think we need to worry too much about, you know, will I get much done, because actually we seem to be going quite a long way. And actually, to be honest, I wonder whether you could even use like maybe some of the extender type stuff. I don't know whether you could or not, but anyway, we should just smoosh all of these around. So this is what I'm saying. This is obviously a much quicker technique. You couldn't really do these because you're going to then go all over the, you know, the centre pieces. But definitely for, you know, for anything that's just solid metal, this is a, you know, a winning way. So we'll just pour these out. Oops. So you can probably see, I mean, some have covered better than others. To be honest, I seem to have made a better job than last time. So yeah, not too disappointed, I think. But they've got definitely that nice gritty texture, which is very cool. Now, I've also got here some of these, what do you call these? You know, the bulldog clips. So I'm thinking, let's try some of these as well. Now, I have tried covering bulldog clips before with some paint. The problem is with the bulldog clips is, to be honest, even if you cover, you know, the, oops, I've got a hole in the bag. This side, when you then open the clip like that, it's going to be silver. So, yeah, I don't necessarily find that they're the best. You would possibly, you know, be better off covering these twice, if you see what I mean. So once with them open and once with them closed, leaving them to dry in between. Obviously that's going to make it a more time consuming, you know, process, but it just depends how, you know, how fussy you want to be. But who knows, they might not really cover at all. I haven't tried these. Okay, so you can probably see they're not too bad, but oops, I have got quite a bit of the black showing. So I guess what you could do is then go in with your brush and just smoosh around onto the, you know, the bits that haven't really covered. So, you know, that's another way to do it. like I say, it just depends how, you know, fussy you want to be, really. Some of these have covered not too badly anyway, so I don't need to really do too much. You know, there's not a great deal of the black really showing. Okay. There we go. So, I mean, that's just a kind of quick way of just rusting some other pieces. So, you know, and again, what you could do is, like we did with those, if you've got some bits on your paper clips which are, you know, a little bit on the shiny side, again, just maybe go in with your brush and then just dab over those little bits. You know, maybe that's kind of a quicker way to actually get to the, you know, the odd bits that perhaps didn't cover as well as you would have hoped. So, you know, or alternatively, like I said with these, maybe leave them to dry and then pop them back into the bag again. But I mean, there's quite a bit of paint still in here. I could probably take a whole bunch more paper clips and do some more in here. Even if they were a bit patchy, they'd get a first coat and then I could go in and do a second coat. So yeah, very, very impressed with this product. So Debbie from Mummy Arty, again, if you happen to watch this video, I just want to say thank you so much for recommending these brilliant things. You get all 5 colours, like I say, and they are the Cosmic Shimmer, and they're the rust paints. Okay, so that's the, you know, that's the whole set there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you feel inspired to have a bit of a play around, and yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.